How's it going, guys? Today I'm showing you how to make trance like TESTPRESS. This is what our remake of that EXO Tour Life remix sounds like.
Push me to the edge, all my friends are dead. Push me to the edge, all my friends are dead. Push me to the edge, all my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. Feel it, I'm insane, how I blow my brain out. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge, all my friends are dead. Push me to the edge, all my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. Feel it, I'm insane, how I blow my brain out.
Great, so the footage from that clip was actually from a different YouTube channel, Waterside. Definitely check those guys out. They record 6 sets of some of the best up-and-coming DJs in the scene. The full project, Serum presets, everything is available from the link in the description. Just follow the Hype Edit link and you can download it all for free. Right, let's crack on with it. Great, so let's start with the drums. This is what they sound like. The project's at 146 BPM, so you want to dial that in first. Then let's have a look at the kick. This is the kick without any effects. And with the effects. So yeah, it's really fat and in your face. If you also have a quick look at the MIDI as well, there's a double hit right at the end. Yeah, the main fatness is coming from this black box, so you could also use a drum bus or any other sort of saturator. But yeah, this has a really sort of good and strange algorithm, which I quite like. And you can dial in this pentode and the triode. Great, I've also used a utility and made sure that the kick is in mono. As it's so fat and bassy, I didn't want any stereo, as when it's playing in a club or something like that, you don't want it to be in stereo, otherwise it's gonna cause some sort of phasing effects. Great, now let's listen to the drums. What you'll notice is that there's no clap. In a lot of techno tracks, there's just no clap, and this sort of helps to keep the energy going. So yeah, the first layer we've got is this top. So yeah, if you want to find sick drums like this, then just go into Splice or something like that. But yeah, this has got like a shaker in it, hats, and sort of all the sort of layers in the top end that you need, apart from the ride. So then I added a ride on top. Without it, and with it. You'll also see here that I've added some reverb. So yeah, this is on the return channel and is at 100%. I've then dragged this up and sort of mixed it in gradually. The key with this is you don't want to completely drown out the dry signal. You sort of want it to reverberate and sit underneath. Great, now we've got the drums down, we can work on the bass. This is what it sounds like. So the most important thing about this bass is the MIDI. So if we have a look at the MIDI, it's completely off grid. So if we have a look up here, although it's like that, it's because that's pushed back. But if it was on, then it would look like this. And then you'd have to put it off grid. So it's on every second beat, so the off beat. So if it was on the same as the kick, it would be here.
All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge.
But it needs to be off beat, which is the exact same as the hi-hat.
All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. Feel it, I'm insane, how I blow my brain out.
Let's have a look at the Serum preset. So in oscillator A, we've got this BS2 Filthy, and in oscillator B, we've got this basic MCB, which you can click here. I then applied this bend, so just dragged it up like that. And if we have a look at the sub, it's on -1, and we've just got a sine wave. If we look at the filter, you'll notice that it's been controlled by this envelope, so envelope 2. Yeah, so the envelope controlling the filter has quite a long decay, but yeah, it curves down nicely. If we have a look at envelope 1, this is actually controlling the volume level of both oscillator A and B.
All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge.
So that's why it's very plucky, because you've got a pluck coming from here, so these coming up and have been automated, and you've also got the pluck sound coming from the filter. If we have a look at the effects, all we have is envelope 2, which is on yet another filter in the FX section. This is just creating even more of a pluck sound.
All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead.
Great, just like the kick, I've made sure that the bass is in mono. I've also applied this drum bus, so this is doing the exact same as the other plugin I showed you earlier on the kick. So the black box, this is pretty much the same sort of effect, but also has a different algorithm and display. So yeah, that's just been driven a little bit, and I've also got it on compression mode.
All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me.
We've also got this respace at the start, so let's just show you this quick.
I don't really care if you cry. I don't really shouldn't have a lie. Should've.
For people that watch the channel, I've gone over respaces hundreds of times, even this Reese. This is just from one of my UK garage packs. So yeah, if you want to check out how to make a Reese, then check out other videos. Great, let's next have a look at the atmosphere. So this is what it sounds like. The MIDI looks like this, so F, B, E, and A. And if we have a look at the synth, so yeah, this is coming from Augmented Voices, which is a plugin by Arturia. It's basically just like vocal shots and stuff like that. So you could just use a vocal shot of Splice, or if you have any other vocal-oriented plugins, you could use those or presets. Yeah, I can't really explain much of this because I don't really know how the whole synth works. It's pretty much just you pick a preset and then it plays it, sort of like a sampler. I've then added a load of reverb and echo, and I've made sure the echo's in notes mode. Without it, very dry, and then you add this reverb and the echo, and it creates it more like dreamy and spacey. And then this sort of just sits in the background of the track. But yes, things like this, like atmospheres, that make the track sound a lot more full in both the top and the middle range. Without it, it sounds quite empty.
All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my.
It's subtle, and without it playing, you don't realise it's there until you turn it off. Let's then have a look at the pluck. So with all these modern trance tracks, they have this sort of pluck going over the top. So yeah, the MIDI is also in the same key, B minor, as the bass, and it's sort of just picking notes that sound good with the bass. And then I think the key with these is not making it too intricate, so you could easily get carried away and then have like lots of different variations like this, and then it's not sort of looping enough. Whereas when it's very short, because look, this whole thing is only this big and it's just looping, and then you'd think like, on its own it sounds boring, which it does. And you get very tired of it very quickly. It would almost like annoy you if it was just playing on its own. But as it's got the bass line under it and the bass line's changing, it almost sounds like the melody's changing. If you have a look at the pluck, it's just a square wave and this filter, which is being controlled by envelope 1. So you just drag that on here like that.
All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge.
And there's no effects. Obviously, lastly, we've got the vocal. This is just ripped from the original track using LAI, and I've just chucked a bit of reverb on to soften out the sort of harshness that comes when you're splitting it from a track. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you found that helpful. Yeah, as I said, make sure you check out the channel Waterside. They've got lots of banging sets on there. I listen to them all the time. Yeah, peace.